So based on this result, I'm going to consider the Fourier transform of the cos function and sine function. Let us see how we can derive that one. Okay, so let us take the next problem. Take the next problem. So find the Fourier transform of x of t is equal to find the Fourier transform of x of t is equal to cos omega naught t. X of t is equal to cos omega naught t. So here we need to find out the Fourier transform of the x of t, which is nothing but cos omega naught t. We need to find out here. So we can express the cos function in terms of the Euler's formula. So it is x of t is equal to e to the power of j omega naught t plus e to the power of minus j omega naught t divided by 2. And we know the Fourier transform of e to the power of j omega naught t and e to the power of minus j omega naught t. So we know that e to the power of j omega naught t, the corresponding Fourier transform is equal to the, so as we did in the previous class, its Fourier transform is nothing but, so it is the 2 pi into delta of omega minus omega naught will get. So we are seeing the pair of Fourier transforms, 2 pi into delta of omega minus omega naught and 2 pi into delta of omega plus omega naught for the negative exponential. So we'll consider the same thing. So we know that the Fourier transform of this one is, so it is the 2 pi into delta of omega minus omega naught, and similarly e to the power of minus j omega naught t, the corresponding Fourier transform is equal to, so it is 2 pi into delta of omega plus omega naught, omega plus omega naught. Now based on this one, I'll consider the Fourier transform of this x of t, so that this will become, we can substitute in place the Fourier transform of this one, we can substitute here, and similarly we can substitute here. So let us do. So take Fourier transform of x of t. So take Fourier transform of x of t. So by using these formulas, by using these two relations, I am going to consider the Fourier transform of x of t. So Fourier transform of x of t is ultimate. It is x of j omega. So this is equal to the Fourier transform of this one is, so it is 2 pi into delta of omega plus omega naught plus this one is also 2 pi. So I'll take 2 pi common here. So delta of omega minus omega naught. So this is omega minus omega naught, and the Fourier transform of this one is delta of omega plus omega naught. So divided by 2. So we can cancel the 2 and 2 will get cancelled. So x of j omega is equal to, so it is pi into delta of omega minus omega naught plus delta of omega plus omega naught, omega plus omega naught. So this is the Fourier transform of the signal, that is the cos omega naught t will get. So you can observe one important thing. In the signal cos omega naught t, the frequency of the signal is nothing but omega naught t. The frequency of the signal, angular frequency is nothing but omega naught t. So when I take the Fourier transform, I'm going to get the spectrum I'm going to get at minus omega naught t is nothing but this will come in the positive frequency and this will come in the negative frequency. If I plot the magnitude response, the magnitude response will be like this. So this is x of j omega with respect to the omega axis. So this one can be plotted at omega is equal to the omega naught. The corresponding value is nothing but pi, and this is at omega is equal to the minus omega naught. The corresponding value is equal to the pi we'll get here. So you can observe what are the frequency content of the cos signal is there. So that is going to be appear in the plus omega naught and minus omega naught. It is going to be appeared here. Okay. So when I take the Fourier transform of many signals, we are going to get we come to know where the frequency content of the signal is present in the frequency domain. Got it now? Suppose assume that I am going to represent once the cos signal or the sine signal. So if I take the Fourier transform in the frequency domain, we will come to know where the frequency content present. So there we can able to obtain the corresponding amplitudes we can able to obtain. So this is how the Fourier transform will be helpful in performing the frequency analysis of the signal. Okay. So similarly, we'll consider the Fourier transform of the other signal, that is a sine function. Let us consider. So any doubts in this one? Any doubts? No doubts, right? We'll consider the Fourier transform signal, which is x of t is equal to the sine omega naught t. Sine omega naught t we'll consider. Sine omega naught t. So sine omega naught t we can express in terms of the Euler's formula as e to the power of j omega naught t minus e to the power of minus j omega naught t divided by 2j we can express. So we already know this relationship. As per this one, we'll take the Fourier transform. So take Fourier transform on both the sides. Take Fourier transform on both the sides. On both the sides, the Fourier transform of x of t is nothing but x of j omega, and e to the power of j omega t is nothing but it is 2 pi into delta of omega minus omega naught minus this is delta of omega plus omega naught. So whole thing multiplied by 2 pi. So 2 pi is common. Whole thing divided by 2j. 2j. Now 2 and 2 will get cancelled. So x of j omega is equal to, it is pi into delta of omega minus omega naught minus delta of omega plus omega naught. So whole thing divided by j. Whole thing divided by j. So this is what you get, the Fourier transform of the sine signal. And if you want to plot the magnitude response, magnitude frequency response, when I consider the magnitude, the j term will not come, the negative term will not come. So here also we'll get the same function we'll get here. So this is the magnitude. Magnitude is nothing but I'm going to indicate with the magnitude here, and this is omega. So this is at omega naught, and this is at plus omega naught, and this is at minus omega naught. The corresponding values, it's a pi, because since I'm considering the modulus I'm considering. So whenever we consider the modulus, only the magnitude will come, the imaginary part and negative sign will not come here. Okay. Now we'll go for the next problem. So I think already we are done with the x of t is equal to delta of t. Already we are done, I guess. So whether we are done, x of t is equal to u of t, we are done. Okay, so x of t is equal to delta of t. Yeah, delta of t minus q, we are done. So let us take next problem. Take the next problem. So problem number 5. X of t is equal to e to the power of minus a into magnitude of t. E to the power of minus a into magnitude of t. So this is nothing but magnitude. So whenever the magnitude is there, so t can take both the positive and the negative time interval. It will take both the positive, that is 0 to the plus infinity, and 0 to the minus infinity. It will take both the things. It will take. So I can rewrite this x of t as, we can write like this: e to the power of minus at. For t is greater than 0, it is positive. That is, for t is greater than 0, or we can write as 0 is less than t is less than infinity. We can write. And for t is less than 0, I can write as, so since t is taking the negative value, I can take minus into minus will become plus t. It will take here. That is, from minus infinity, e is less than t is less than 0. Is less than 0. So now we need to find out this term. We need to find out the Fourier transform of this one. We'll find out. So we'll write the Fourier transform formula. So the Fourier transform of x of t is given by, the Fourier transform of x of t is given by, so this is equal to the x of j omega. So it is write the generalized formula. So always try to write the generalized formula in the exam. So it is e to the power of minus j omega t into dt, x of t into e to the power of minus j omega t into dt. So in place of x of t, let us split the integral into the two parts. Let us split the integral into the two parts here. So x of j omega, that will become, so one integral I am splitting from minus infinity to the 0. The value of x of t is nothing but e to the power of at into e to the power of minus j omega t into dt, plus, let us split the second interval. The second integral, we can take the value from 0 to the infinity. It will take here the corresponding values e to the power of minus at. So plus integral from 0 to the infinity, e to the power of minus a into t into e to the power of minus j omega into t into dt. The power j omega t into dt. Okay. So now we'll take the terms common here. So how to take the terms common? Already I told in the first beginning classes. So whenever the minus infinity is there, we need to take the exponential as a plus term. We need to take common here, and whenever the plus infinity is there, so we need to take the terms. The minus term we need to take outside here. So because we know that e to the power of minus infinity is it is 0, and e to the power of plus infinity will be equal to the infinity. So we'll take the terms like that. So now this is minus infinity is upper limit is there. So we should take the plus t, we should take it as a common here. Plus t, we should take it as a common. When I apply the limits, so this will become equal to e to the power of minus infinity. So we can apply e to the power of minus infinity is equal to the, so we can substitute as 0, we can substitute. Okay, so now I'll take the term common here. So x of j omega, that is equal to, so integral from minus infinity up to the 0. So take t common. So if I take t common, the remaining term is nothing but a minus j omega into t into dt. Okay, so integral from minus infinity to 0 e to the power of a minus j omega t into dt. So plus, since the upper limit is plus infinity is there, so we should take minus t as a common. We should take here minus t as a common. So that's why. So integral from 0 to the infinity e to the power of minus. So I'm going to take minus t as a common. The remaining term is a plus j omega will get into t into dt. So 0 to infinity minus I have taken here because the upper limit is plus infinity. So when I substitute t is equal to infinity, it will become e to the power of minus infinity will become 0. That's why I taken minus common here. And here the lower limit is minus infinity. So when I substitute t is equal to minus infinity, so that e to the power of minus infinity will become equal to 0. That's why we should take the plus t as a common we should take here. Getting it right? So if you follow this one, the mathematical solution, we can apply the limits and easily we can evaluate the integral easily we can evaluate. Now we'll integrate this one. The integration of e to the power of ax is e to the power of ax by a. So let us do integrate this one. So we'll integrate. So it will become x of j omega. So this is equal to the integration of e to the power of ax is e to the power of a minus j omega into t. So divided by the value of this one is e to the power of minus j omega. The limit is from 0 to the, sorry, it is 0 to the minus infinity plus the other integral is e to the power of minus a plus j omega. So divided by minus into a plus j omega. The limits of the integration are so 0 to the infinity. 0 to the infinity. Now we'll apply the limits here. So x of j omega. So apply the upper limit. So upper limit is e to the power of 0 minus the lower limit is e to the power of minus infinity divided by a minus j omega. Minus is there, that's why I taken minus here. Apply the upper limit. So e to the power of minus infinity. So in place of the t is there, sorry, you can take t. In place of the t, I'm going to substitute infinity minus e to the power of 0. So divided by a plus j omega. A plus j omega. So minus is there, minus I took here. And we know e to the power of minus infinity is, so we know that e to the power of minus infinity is 0 and e to the power of 0 is equal to 1. So let us do substitute these quantities. X of j omega is equal to, so 1 minus 0 divided by a minus j omega minus e to the power of minus infinity is, it is 0. E to the power of 0 is 1 here divided by a plus j omega. Now minus into minus will become plus 1. So we have 1 divided by a minus j omega plus 1 divided by a plus j omega. So let us take the LCM of these two terms. So when you take the LCM, so this has become a minus j omega into a plus j omega. So here it will become a plus j omega plus a minus j omega. So here plus j omega minus j omega will get cancelled. In the denominator, we have in terms of a minus b into a plus b is there. It will become a square minus b square. A square minus b square will get. So omega square and j square is minus 1. Minus 1 into minus 1 will become plus 1 will get here. So I'll write the answer directly. So to recall, this is a minus b into a plus b. It will become a square minus b square. So omega square, j square is minus 1. Minus into minus will become plus 1. We'll get here. Minus into minus 1 will become plus 1. So the answer will be x of j omega is equal to, so 2e divided by a square plus omega square will get. So omega square, j square is minus 1. Minus into minus 1 will become plus 1 will get. 2a divided by a square plus omega square. So right, so this is the Fourier transform of the signal e to the power of minus a into t. So this is very important in the exam. Many times this problem has been asked in the exam. Okay. So whatever the problem is given, what we should know is, so we should evaluate. So go to the basic level. So substitute in the formula, whichever the method you know, you just try to evaluate that one. Already you know the integration. So already you know the summation, how to evaluate the summation. Try to evaluate the problem. Don't think any problem is complicated, but try to evaluate that one. So at least for the steps, some marks you will go to get. Okay. So let us take the next problem. So take x of t is equal to the, so I'm going to introduce one function which is called as a signum function. I'm going to introduce. So this signum function we are going to use in the communication wherever we are going to design in case of the Hilbert transformer, and even in terms of the single sideband, that is single sideband modulation. So I think you might have studied in your basic electronics amplitude modulation, that is frequency modulation. So in case of the amplitude modulation, the modified version is called as double sideband suppressed carrier wave. Other one is a SSB. Other one is a vestigial sideband modulation. So there we are going to make use of the signum function in order to find out the modulated signal, the expression for the modulated signal, and to design the transmitter we are going to make use of this one. Okay, so SGN stands for it's a signum here. It is SIGNUM, signum of t. In short, we are going to use the SGN of t. You are going to use. So this will be defined like this. So x of t, it will be defined like this. So it is having the value 1 for t is greater than 0. It is having the value 1 for t is greater than 0. It is 0 at t exactly equal to 0. And it is equal to minus 1 for t is less than 0. So it will be defined like this. So this is a signum function. So at t exactly equal to 0, it will be 0. So it will be 0. For t is greater than 0, it is 1. For t is less than 0, it is minus 1. So this is x of t. This is x of t. It is 1. And this is minus 1. This is how the signum function will be defined. Now we need to find the Fourier transform of this signum function. We need to find out here. So by applying the suitable property, we need to find out. By applying the suitable property, we need to apply. So let us apply the property called the differentiation in the time domain. Will apply and we'll evaluate this one. So this signum function, I can express in terms of the unit step function. I'm going to express like this. So for t is greater than 0, it is having the value 1. And for t is less than 0, it is having the value minus 1 is there. For t is greater than 0, it is 1. And t is less than 0, it is having the value minus 1 is there. So I'm going to evaluate like this. So I can express this one in terms of the unit step function I'm going to express here. So it is 2 into u of t minus 1. I'm going to substitute 2 into u of t minus 1. When t is greater than 0, t is greater than or equal to 0. So u of t is having the value 1. U of t is having the value 1. So 2 multiplied by 1 will be 2. So 2 minus 1 will become equal to 1 will get. It will become equal to 1 will get. So I'll repeat once again. For t is greater than 0, u of t is having the value 1. So this u of t into is nothing but 1. 1 multiplied by 2 will become 2. So 2 minus 1 will be 1. So that it will become equal to 1 from 0 to the infinity will get. The required quantity will get. So for t is less than 0, and I substitute t is less than 0. So u of minus t will become equal to 0 because for the negative values of the t it will become 0. So 0 minus 1 will be the minus 1 will get. 0 minus 1 will be the, so minus 1 will get. So this is you are going to get the required waveform. We can express in terms of the unit step function. We can express like this. Okay, so now what I am going to use, I'm going to use the differentiation property I'm going to use. So this is nothing but the signum function, signum of t. I'm going to use the differentiation. I'm going to differentiate both the sides here. So you might be knowing the differentiation of u of t is nothing but It's a delta function, delta of t, and the differentiation of 1 is nothing but it is 0. So I'm going to differentiate both the sides. Okay, so you might have studied in your elementary signals, the differentiation of unit step function is impulse function, and differentiation of integration of unit step function is the thing, sorry, integration of impulse function is a unit step function you get. Okay, so I'll differentiate both the sides here. So dx of t divided by dt. So this will become, so 2 into delta of t minus 0 will get 2 into delta of t minus 0. So this will become equal to 2 into delta of t will get 2 into delta of t will get. So we got dx of t divided by dt. So is equal to the 2 into delta of t will get. Now we are going to apply the property called the differentiation, the time domain property will apply. So just I'm going to recall what is this property will states. So I'll go back to the property. So this is the frequency differentiation, and we have the differentiation in the time domain. Yeah, so this is a differentiation in the time domain. So that is dx of t by dt. If I take the Fourier transform of this one, it will become j omega into x of j omega. J omega into x of j omega will get. Now what I will do is I'll take Fourier transform on both the sides. Fourier transform on both the sides I will take. So the Fourier transform of this one is nothing but it is j omega into, that is as per this formula, it is j omega into x of j omega will get. And the Fourier transform of impulse function we know it is equal to 1. So we'll apply that one. So take Fourier transform on both the sides, okay. So the Fourier transform of this one is, it is j omega into x of j omega, and the Fourier transform of delta of t is nothing but 2, or else we want the x of j omega, so it is 2 divided by j into omega, 2 divided by j into omega. So this is the Fourier transform of the signum function. The Fourier transform of the signum function is this one. Signum function Fourier transform is 2 into j omega, 2 divided by j omega. So if I find the magnitude and the phase response, it will be appear like this. So for omega is greater than 0, so this is for omega is equal to 0, it will be having the maximum value will be there. For omega increases, this value will be reduces here. This value will be reduces here. So it will become like this, and like this will get here. That is a magnitude response. And if you go to the phase response, so since j omega is in the denominator, so this will become the phase of this one. I can write the magnitude and the phase response. So the magnitude of x of j omega. So this is equal to, so it is the 2 divided by, it is equal to the 2 divided by omega, 2 divided by omega. That is the magnitude response we'll get here. And the phase response, x of j omega. So this is equal to, so since it is in the denominator, it is in the denominator. So I should take it as, so minus tan inverse of omega, tan inverse of omega by 0. Suppose if omega is greater than 0, so this will become equal to the positive infinity will get here. So for example, if omega is greater than 0, so this angle x of j omega will become minus tan inverse of plus infinity will become here. So tan inverse of plus infinity is, it's a pi by 2. Pi by 2 multiplied by minus is minus pi by 2 will get minus pi by 2 for omega is greater than 0. So similarly, if omega is less than 0, if I take the value omega is less than 0, so this will take the negative values. So that is minus omega divided by 0 will become minus infinity will get. So the phase response, it will become minus into tan inverse of minus infinity. So this will become, this is minus pi by 2 multiplied by minus pi by 2. So this will become equal to the pi by 2 will get here, pi by 2. So this is for omega greater than 0. This is for omega less than 0. We'll get pi by 2. So let us plot the magnitude and the phase response. Let us plot the magnitude and the phase response. So this is the magnitude response. So any doubts in finding the magnitude and the phase response? Any doubts in finding this one? Any doubts in finding the phase response? Any doubts for finding the magnitude and the phase response? Any doubts for anyone for finding the magnitude and the phase response? No doubts? Any doubts? My voice is audible, right? My voice is audible, right? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any doubts in finding this magnitude and phase response?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, so I'll take this one. This is for 2 divided by omega. So for omega is lesser value, it will be more will be there, and for omega reduced to increases to infinity, it will become 0 almost here. So similarly, we'll get like this. So this is the magnitude response we'll get here. This is 2 by omega is the magnitude response. So we'll get like this. So similarly, we can obtain the plot the phase response as for the different values of omega. For omega is greater than 0, we got minus pi by 2. So we can plot it like this. Okay, so why do we need the phase response and magnitude response is, as I told in the beginning of the Fourier transform. So when you are designing the filter, we need to know where actually the cutoff frequency you are going to obtain here. So there we need to plot the frequency versus the amplitude of the filter, low pass filter or high pass filter output we are going to plot here. So based on that one, we are going to get the frequency curve we are going to get here, the magnitude frequency curve. So there we need to find out which kind of filter, what are the, based on the how the response will be there, we are going to design the different types of filters. One is called a finite impulse response, other one is called the infinite impulse response. There we are going to make use of these concepts we are going to make use here, the magnitude and the phase response. So for omega is greater than 0, this is the minus pi by 2. For omega is less than 0, it is equal to the plus pi by 2. For some applications, we don't want the change in the phase here. So you're going to call that as a linear phase filters, we are going to call linear phase filters. So there, in case of the FIR filter, we are going to consider the linear phase filters you are going to call. And another filters are there called IAR filters. Those are the non-linear filters. Okay, so those applications, these phase and the magnitude response will play a very important role. In some of the medical image processing, you might be knowing regarding the MRI scanning, or you might be knowing ECG, EEG scanning. So there we need the sophisticated filters are required in order to identify the problem in the ECG or the EEG signal, or the that is what you're going to call that is like MRI scanning. So there we are going to make use of the filters and the phase responses we are going to apply there. So right, done. So this is a signum function. So let us take some more functions here. Okay, so you can find the Fourier transform by applying the direct formula also. Let us do this as a homework. So what you can do is the method 2 you can take. And find out the answer similar way. So it is x of j omega. I'm going to split accordingly. So this is having the value 1 for t is greater than 0 and having the value minus 1 for t is less than 0. So I'll give the integral. So you try to evaluate this one. So minus infinity to 0, it is having the value 1. It is, minus 1 e to the power of minus j omega t into dt, plus from 0 to the infinity, it is having the value 1 into e to the power of minus j omega t into dt. So do integrate, find the answer. So let me know the answer in the next class. We have to tell the answer in the next class or what answer you are going to get. Okay, so take this integral. I've done the integral, that is splitting of the integral limits are done as per these expressions. We'll do accordingly. Okay, so we'll take the next one. We'll take the next function. So take the next one. X of t is equal to u of t. X of t is equal to u of t. So u of t, in the previous problem, we expressed the signum function, we expressed like this. So we have, so what we have is, so we have the signum of t. So this is equal to 2 into u of t minus 1 we have. So just from this one, I'm going to solve for the u of t. So u of t implies send minus on this side. So it has become signum of t plus 1. So whole thing divided by signum of t plus 1 divided by 2. Now for this one, let us take the Fourier transform. So this has become equal to the x of t, which is equal to u of t. So for this one, let us take the Fourier transform on both the sides. So take Fourier transform. Take Fourier transform on both the sides. Take Fourier transform on both the sides. The Fourier transform of x of t is nothing but x of j omega. And Fourier transform of signum t, we already done. So it is equal to the Fourier transform of signum t is nothing but it is equal to the, so it is we have 2 by j omega. It is equal to the 2 by j omega. Okay, the signum function Fourier transform. It is equal to signum function Fourier transform is equal to 2 by j omega. 2 divided by j omega plus the Fourier transform of 1. So already we did in the previous the impulse response we have seen. That is the Fourier transform of the delta function we have seen there. So it is equal to the, that is x of j omega, the Fourier transform of 1. If 1 is there, so this Fourier transform has become equal to the 2 pi divided by delta omega, 2 pi into delta omega will get, that is the Fourier transform of the 1. So I'm going to make use of this result. So the Fourier transform of 1 is 2 pi into delta of omega, and the Fourier transform of signum is 2 by j omega. So we'll make use of this one. So it is 2 pi into delta omega. 2 pi into delta omega. If you want, you can recall those things here. So we have, or we know that. So what we know is 1, the Fourier transform of 1 is nothing but, so it is 2 pi into delta of omega. And similarly, we have the signum of t, the corresponding Fourier transform. It is nothing but, so 2 by j omega. 2 by j omega. So based on this one, we have substituted this. So the corresponding Fourier transforms we are written. Divided by 2 is it. So we'll get x of j omega. X of j omega is equal to 2 will get cancelled. So it is 1 divided by j omega plus 2 will get cancelled. It is pi into delta of omega. Pi into delta of omega. So this is a Fourier transform of the unit step function. Okay, so this is the Fourier transform of the unit step function we'll get. Then any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay, so we'll go for the next problem. So I think whether we have done x of t is equal to e to the power of minus 80. We have done this problem. X of t is equal to the e to the power of minus 80. Okay, so e to the power of minus 80 into u of t already we are done. Okay, so one more question here. In the beginning, I have done this one. X of t is equal to u of t we are done here. So we got 1 by omega. But for this one, we are not evaluated for omega is not t or equal to 0. We are not evaluated. Okay, so based on this one, if you evaluate for omega is equal to 0, so we'll get the same functions we'll get here. So in the beginning we are done, but for this one we are not evaluated for omega is equal to 0. If I substitute omega is equal to 0, this will become equal to infinity. We are not evaluated. So for omega is equal to 0, if you substitute here, so this will become equal to 1. So let us evaluate and we'll get the answer. In this expression, if you substitute here, we'll get that one. Okay, done, right? So take the next problem. So for the Fourier transform of u of t, you follow this method. Instead of that one, let us follow this one. This is easily and we can get directly. Okay. So we'll take the next one. Take x of t is equal to, so t into e to the power of minus 3t into u of t. T into e to the power of minus 3t into u of t. So we'll consider the Fourier transform of this one. So x of t is equal to t into e to the power minus 3t into u of t. So let the formula for the Fourier transform. It is x of j omega. So integral from minus infinity to the plus infinity. So x of t e to the power of minus j omega t into dt. X of t to the power of minus j omega t into dt. We'll substitute for x of t. So integral from minus infinity to the plus infinity. X of t is t e to the power of minus 3t into u of t into e to the power of minus j omega t. So we know u of t. So the u of t is nothing but it is equal to 1 from 0 is less than t is less than infinity and 0 for t is less than 0. T is less than 0. So now we can replace the u of t with the value 1 and the limits of the integration we can change to the 0 to the infinity we can change. So x of j omega will become 0 to the infinity. So t into e to the power of minus 3t into e to the power of minus j omega t into dt. Done. Now, since plus infinity is there, I'll take minus t common here. Minus t I'll take common. So it will become x of j omega will become 0 to the infinity. So t into e to the power of minus. So the remaining term is nothing but if I take t common, minus t common, the remaining term is so j omega plus 3 or 3 plus j omega into dt. And this is in the form of integral of integration by parts we need to apply. Integration by parts we need to apply. So this is in the form of integration of u into v. So we know the integration of u into v. So that is nothing but so u into integration of v minus so u dash into double integration of v. U dash into double integration of v. So accordingly, let us choose u is which is a easily differentiable one. So t and v is equal to the e to the power of minus. So here t is there. E to the power of minus j omega plus 3 into t. So accordingly, let us integrate this one. Let us integrate this one. Done. Okay, so let us integrate. So the integration of this one is x of j omega. The first part is x of j omega. It is t into the integration of. So the first term is e to the power of minus j omega plus 3 into t. E to the power of ax is e to the power of ax by a. So let us integrate that one. So it has become e to the power of minus into. So it is j omega plus 3 t divided by minus into j omega plus 3. The limit is from 0 to the infinity minus the differentiation of this one is 1 and the 2 times integration of this one is e to the power of minus j omega plus 3. I'm going to integrate 2 times here. Integration of e to the power of minus is minus will get here. Minus into minus will become plus j omega will get here. Plus j omega 3, the whole square will get. So you know this one, right? First time when I'm going to integrate, we'll get this one. When I'm going to integrate the second time, it has become minus will become plus here. So j omega plus 3, the whole square will get. So the limit is from 0 to the infinity. 0 to the infinity. So let us apply the limit and evaluate the integral. So when I apply the limit here, so it has become x of j omega will become, so when t is equal to infinity, it will become infinity multiplied with e to the power of minus infinity. E to the power of minus infinity is the thing is where 0. So 0 multiplied by infinity will be the 0 will get here minus the lower limit is 0. So t is nothing but 0 multiplied by the e to the power of 0. So divided by minus into j omega plus 3. So since e to the power of minus infinity, this is nothing but 0. So 0 multiplied by 1 by 0 will become equal to, this will become 0. So this entire time will become equal to 0. Right. So let us apply it for the second term. So it is e to the power of minus infinity. The upper limit is t. I am going to substitute with the minus infinity minus the lower limit is e to the power of 0 divided by j omega plus 3 the whole square. J omega plus 3 the whole square. So we'll get x of j omega is equal to e to the power of 0 is minus 1 divided by j omega plus 3 the whole square. J omega plus 3 the whole square will get. Okay. Then, so we have, so minus 1 divided by, if I'm going to expand, it will become, so 3 square is 9 here. 9, apply a plus b whole square formula, plus 2 3s are 6 j omega minus plus, and b square is nothing but omega square into minus j square, it will become minus 1 here. So it is minus omega square we get. So the square of this one is j square into omega square, j square into omega square, j square is minus 1, omega square I substituted like this. So in here, multiply minus 1 here, so x of j omega will become equal to 1 divided by omega square minus 9 minus 6 into j omega will get. Minus 6 into j omega. So we can find out the magnitude and the phase response of this one. We can find the magnitude and the phase response. The magnitude response is the real part, the square root of the real part plus the imaginary part square, and the phase response is this one. So let us find out that one. So any doubts in finding this answer? Any doubts? Okay, so we'll find out the magnitude response. So x of j omega is equal to, the magnitude of this one is, so 1 divided by, so the square root of the real part plus the imaginary part. The real part is, it is omega square minus 9 the whole square plus the imaginary part is 6 omega the whole square under the root. So I'm going to rewrite here. So it is under the root of omega square minus 9 the whole square plus 6 omega the whole square. So this is the magnitude response. This is the magnitude response. And similarly the phase response is obtained by, since it is in the denominator, so I can take it as minus tan inverse of, so it is minus, the imaginary part is minus 6 omega divided by omega square minus 9. Omega square minus 9. So this is the phase response. Then, any doubts in this one? Any doubts? Understand, right? Understanding, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'll take the next problem. So take x of t is equal to, this is the problem number 9. X of t is equal to, so it is 2 plus cos pi t for t is less than or equal to 1 and 0 for t is greater than 1. So the magnitude of t is less than or equal to 1 and t for it is greater than 1. 0 for t is greater than 1. The magnitude of t is greater than 1. So whenever the magnitude comes, we can assume that t can take both positive and the negative values it will take here. So this is the meaning is that minus 1 is less than t is less than the plus 1. Minus 1 is less than t is less than the plus 1. So t can take both positive and the negative values it will take. Okay. So now let us find the integral of this one. So let us write the generalized formula. So x of j omega is equal to the Fourier transform is x of t into e to the power of minus j omega t into dt, e to the power j omega t into dt. So let us substitute the change the limits from minus 1 to the plus 1. So it is minus 1 to the plus 1. It is 2 plus cos pi t. We can't integrate directly. We can convert in terms of the Euler's formula. We need to convert in terms of exponential term here. I'll do that one. So it is e to the power of j pi t plus e to the power of minus j pi t. So divided by 2. So this is the cos pi t, it will be defined. So whole thing multiplied by e to the power of minus j omega t into dt. So this is a formula. In place of x of t, I substituted 2 plus the cos pi t in terms of the Euler's formula we have substituted and we are written here. Now let us split the integrals by applying the linearity property. So 2 into this one and this into this, the terms here. Let us do split. So I'll write here, I'll split and we'll take the terms common.